Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Lightseekers, wherever you are, this is new to here. You may know me as Jaeger Noon. And today I'm giving you my final list before we go into Lightseekers Mythical. And this is a Fish Singer Ushi Flynamo list. So you can just have a look here. Most of it is Storm. But we do run a couple of tech cards in here. Techs for techs, just to smooth it all out. So let's go right into it. And so our hero is Fish Singer Ushi. So he's really cool because he's got an amazing ability that says your combos cost one less. This only affects storm elements. So that means that all of our storm combos here cost one less. That is amazing. We're going to get great value out of this. And yeah, that's what we're building for. This is going to be a combo deck. So you can see here, he does have a couple of downsides though for having his amazing ability. First, he has no superior element. And second, he's got low life. Right, so how do we get around this? We use our only item in the deck, Flynamo. And Flynamo is an amazing card. So it gives us time, which gives us access to our Time Worms and one Warp Toad. And it's got an amazing ability. And this ability says, one healing if you have less than 20 health. Great. So straight away we have an option to consistently heal with Fish Singer Ushi when we get low. And next we gain one additional action without any stat restrictions. So that's really important. Because that means now we can use Fish Singer Ushi, we can use 2 lightning, 2 water, or 2 wind, because we can play that third action, which is our free action from the Flynamo ability, without any restrictions from the elements. So Flynamo and Fish Singer Ushi go together like a match made in heaven. So let's have a look at some of our cards. We run a 3-off Dust Fiend. Dust Fiend is great. He counts as any element when used for a combo, so that's really good. Because you can see here we've got a double wind combo and we've got a double lightning combo. So and because they only cost 1 because of Fish Singer Ushi, he covers both costs. And he's a 4 damage as well. So we love that. Next, let's have a look at some of our other attack cards here. We run 2 Impressed Seahorse. So Impressed Seahorse is a really cool card. 3 damage, increase this by 4 if your last discarded card is a combo. So that's a 7 hit there. So basically we can play a big card, we can play an Overload, a Cold Snap, Flying Debris, whatever. And the next turn, we can hit them for a 7 damage with an Impressed Seahorse. So we run 2 of those. We love them. Next, our attacks. We run 2 Dancing Flutterers. Now, for a personal choice here, you can replace these with Spark Wisps. I do kind of run both. It depends how I feel. Sometimes I get really good utility out of Dancing Flutterer. But Spark Wisp is your consistent 5. It depends. Do you want to hit for the magic 6 or do you want to go for the consistent 5? Yeah, maybe Spark Wisp is a better choice. But for now, we run 2 Dancing Flutterers. And our final attack, well, our final attack actions are Evaporator. So Evaporator is really cool. We run 2. 3 damage. You may discard one of your combo cards to increase this damage by the cost of the combo plus 1. So if we discard Rolling Thunder here, all of a sudden that becomes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 1. 8 damage. 8 damage on a single card. We love it. That is amazing. That is sick. It's disgusting. And it gets even better because right now we're going to have a look at our buffs. So it wouldn't be a Storm deck. It wouldn't be a Storm deck that I would build without Triple Storm Shaman. So increased damage done to other heroes by tap. So that means first turn it does nothing. Next turn we are looking at 4 damage. So we're just talking about our Evaporator there. 8 damage if you discard Rolling Thunder. It becomes 12 damage with Storm Shaman. 12 damage for 1 attack. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We love it. We run 3. And also it puts pressure on your opponent because you throw down a Storm Shaman and your opponent goes, what am I going to do? How am I going to deal with this? Because they know next turn they're going to take big damage. So they've got 1 turn to get rid of it. So it puts pressure on. And it's good bait as well for your opponent to throw away their buff removal. What other buffs do we have? Right. We run 3 Thunder Slugs. So he's our only buff removal in our Storm deck. So Thunder Slug, really good buff card here. First turn he removes 1. And then he's a little bit slower. But it's worth the wait. Next turn he removes 2. So we run 3 of those. That's really good. We love that. Let's have a look at our other Storm buffs here. 2 Maribard. Maribard, look at that little guy or girl. an amazing card here. It makes your opponent's buffs dormant for 2 turns. That means they're on the field, they don't rotate, they don't apply their effects. That means we can get rid of those spectral rebs, we can get rid of some of those nasty, these buffs can't be removed cards just by using Maribard. So yep, we love a Maribard, we run 2. Finally, the cross orders. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what, we run 2 Bubblefish. Let's do Bubblefish next. We run 2 Bubblefish here. Bubblefish, just 2 to reduce damage. Combos really well with Therapeutic Heal. We don't run a lot of heals in the deck, so it's kind of an all or nothing. Bubblefish just helps mitigate that for 3 turns as well, so we can focus on attacking, and we don't have to keep blowing our actions on Vitalizing Frogs to heal. So, 2 Bubblefish. And then finally, 3 Time Worm. Time Worm's an amazing card. Move your last discarded combo cards to your hand. So that means that we get 1 combo card back if we play it. So that means we can keep cycling. We can keep using our Overloads, our Cold Snaps, our Storm Walls, our Rolling Thunders. We love it. We run 3. Works well with Flynamo, obviously, because that's the item that allows us access into time to use Time Worms. Works good with Evaporator. Discard it. Time Worm. Get it back next turn. Fantastic. We run 3. And then finally, just some defend cards. Our Draw Support Therapeutic Heal, amazing. We love it. Take 3 damage, draw 3 cards. You know, that's a really good card. We mitigate around that anyway with Bubblefish. And even if you can't get the Bubblefish, the 3 damage is well worth it. So we run 3 of those. Next, 2 heals. We just run 2 Vitalizing Frogs. We're kind of an all or nothing here. So we just run 2 just in case it gets bad. We run, well, it wouldn't be an item deck without just the 1 Tantosian Blacksmith that searches out our Flynamo. And we take an additional action as well. So, yep, amazing card. We definitely want at least 1. I think 2's overkill in this deck because we don't run more than 1 item. Maybe I could chuck in a Crystal Core, but it starts to mess around with the consistency. I just wanted to keep it nice and simple for you guys. So we run 1 Tantosian for 1 item. Amazing. Finally, a Warp Toad. Now, I love Warp Toad. It's a really useful card here because it doesn't remove your opponent's buffs. It just returns them back to the hand. Can return your buffs. So you've got a nice little trick here because you can return your Storm Wall back as well. You can go boop, bring it back, play it down again next turn because it doesn't state action buffs. It just says buffs. But it also gets around cards like Exterior Defender as well, or cards that stop attacks, Subjugator. This just allows us to work around these, or another Storm Wall. This just allows us to work around these cards and keep up the aggressive pace. So we run a 1 Warp Toad. Right, let's get on to the fun stuff. Overload. Double electric, double lightning. But, of course, with Fish Singer, it becomes 1. 8 damage. You may discard 1 of your combo cards to increase this by 2, plus the discarded combo's cost. Where have we seen this card before? This is basically the combo version of Evaporator. This is Evaporator on steroids. We discard Rolling Thunder here. We do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage. A 14 damage overload for 1 Lightning card or 1 Dust Fiend card is disgusting. Let's make that 18 with Storm Shaman as well. What is going on? We love that. We run 1. Because we have to. I'd run them all if I could. Next, Rolling Thunder. Yeah, do you know what? It's not actually that bad, but we normally use this just to discard. But it pays for... yeah, you know, it can pay for little bits and pieces. Since we can reduce its cost by 1, you know, we take the lightning off. It pays for Storm Wall. It can pay for... well, it can pay a 1 cost, I guess. Since this is 1, it can pay for... Overload. It can play for Flying Debris as well, so it can actually pay for everything. So yeah, we run that, but we don't really like to use it as a cost. We like to use it to discard for Evaporators and for Overloads. Next, Cold Snap. I really like Cold Snap. Again, it becomes a 2 cost. We'll just remove one of those waters. Becomes a 2 cost. 5 damage. Remove 3 buffs. Really cool. And again, Storm, because of Thunderslug, we lack that instant buff removal. Cold Snap here just says, you know what? We can just bop, get rid of those. No worries. Storm Wall. I really like Storm Wall. And it's a bit of an odd choice for an aggressive deck because really it's a defensive card, right? You can't be attacked. It does chip away at their damage a little bit. But what I like about this card is that sometimes your opponent, if they don't have a buff removal, if they don't have a buff removal for this corner here, they've just got no out to it. You know, they're just going to sit there and they're just going to have to take, 12 damage and not be allowed to attack. And while they're not being allowed to attack, you can attack. So unless your opponent has an out, this actually puts them in a very difficult spot. So I do like Stormwall, and it's cheap as well for 2 because of Fish Singer Ushi, so I like that. Finally, one of my favourite, it nearly goes in every Storm deck I run, Flying Debris. So it's a 1 cost because of Fish Singer Ushi, 6 damage, and then we get to draw 2 cards as well because we're never going to keep the card we're going to use as payment. Because why would we? So we get to draw 2. So we put 1 back in from the combo for its cost, draw 2, and then draw the final 1 for playing the combo. So I love it. Flying Debris, and I was lucky enough to get a holo of it as well. So thank you very much, guys. That's my Fish Singer Ushi deck. Stay tuned for the mythical releases, but hopefully this will tide you guys over, and you can have a go on this. Play the Granite deck, play the Astral deck, have some fun just before the final. Just before the final week of Awakenings. Thank you very much. I've been U2. Thank you.